In a distant country in Africa lived a man named Doubar, a 38-year-old civil engineer. He was a hard-working, proud man, deeply attached to his family. By his side was Sifa, his wife, a gentle and courageous woman, and their little daughter Sabrina, only 2 years old. The days passed in peace and simplicity.
Doubar worked hard to provide a better life for his family, while Sifa took care of their home, always smiling. But 5 years later, everything changed.
Sifa suddenly fell ill, a strange, unknown illness that some in the neighborhood whispered was caused by the malice of jealous people. Despite the care, despite the prayers, her condition worsened, and after 5 months, Sifa passed away. Doubar was shattered. The pain paralyzed him, but he had no choice. He had to keep living for Sabrina. For an entire year, he juggled between his work and the role of a single father, refusing to let anyone, especially a stranger, take care of his daughter in his absence. But he was at his limits, so Doubar made a decision. He remarried Cristela, a 33-year-old African woman, beautiful, seductive. But behind her smile was a face he did not yet know. At first, everything seemed normal, but as soon as Doubar went to work, Cristela revealed her true nature. She hit little Sabrina, deprived her of food, terrorized her with threats that the child did not even dare to speak about. Sabrina withdrew into silence, but a father sees what words do not say. Doubar noticed that his daughter was losing weight, that dark marks appeared on her skin, that her once bright gaze became evasive, filled with fear. Something was wrong, and he had to understand. One evening, without saying anything, he set up hidden cameras in the house. The next day, coming home from work, he sat in front of his screen, hands trembling. What he saw froze him. Cristela on the video. "Shut up, you won't eat anything today." The sound of a slap is heard, followed by a muffled sob. Sabrina, curled up, endured in silence. Doubar's heart broke a second time, but this time the pain turned into determination. He knew what he had to do. The truth had finally opened Doubar's eyes. Morning. Cristela enters the room, light, smiling, as if nothing had happened. Cristela. "Good morning, my dear. Do you want some tea?" Doubar, sitting, stares at his phone screen. He doesn't respond. Cristela. "Doubar, is everything okay?" He slowly lifts his head. Doubar. Calm. Cold. "Sit down." Cristela hesitates, then complies. Doubar. "Yesterday, I watched what happens here when I'm at work." Cristela frowns, feigning innocence. Cristela. "What do you mean? I don't understand." Doubar puts his phone on the table. He presses play, screams, a slap, a woman's voice yelling. Cristela turns pale instantly. Cristela panicked. This isn't, it's not what you think." Doubar, standing up abruptly. "Stop lying! How could you hit a child, my daughter? Every time I left, you became a monster." Cristela tries to touch him. He steps back, Cristela feigning emotion. "But I was stressed. I just wanted to educate her. You know how children are. Sometimes they, Doubar, terribly hurt. Educate, refusing to feed her, slapping her, humiliating her. You are not a mother, Cristela. You are a danger." A heavy silence fills the room. Scene. Sabrina's room. Doubar gently opens the door. Sabrina is silently playing with a doll, her head down. Doubar, softly, "My princess." Sabrina looks up, wary, frightened. "Doubar, come here." She approaches slowly. He kneels and takes her in his arms. Doubar, trembling voice. "I'm sorry, I didn't know." "But Dad has seen everything now. You are not alone anymore. Tell me the truth." "She hurt you, didn't she?" Sabrina clutches her doll and nods silently. Then, in a whisper, Sabrina, very softly, "She hit me every day." Doubar closes his eyes. A tear falls. "Doubar, that's enough. No one will ever lay a hand on you again. I promise you." Sabrina starts to cry softly, relieved. Scene. The living room. Cristela, standing, trembles. Cristela. So, you're going to throw me out after everything I've done for you? Doubar, firmly, no, Cristela. You will leave after answering for your actions. Justice will do its work. I must protect my daughter.
Cristela steps back, furious. Cristela, you will regret it, Doubar.
Doubar. The only regret I have is not having unmasked you sooner. Cristela leaves, slamming the door. That day, Doubar chose truth, justice, and a father's love. He decided to rebuild his life with Sabrina, slowly, with patience and tenderness. And for the first time in a long time, the little girl was no longer afraid to be at home. After Cristela's abrupt departure, a peculiar silence settled in the house. A silence that was no longer one of fear, but a silence of healing. For the first time in months, Doubar could look at his daughter without feeling a weight in his chest. Yet, the wound was deep for both of them.
Here, my princess, this is for you. I can really eat? Yes, my dear. Here, you can always eat. You have the right to eat. You don't have to ask anymore. You are safe.
These are old bruises. The child has suffered many blows, but the good news is that she can heal physically. Mentally, it will take time, but she is young. She can rebuild herself. I will do everything for that. Everything. Sabrina, if someone ever hurts you, you must tell me. Even if you're scared, even if you're threatened, Daddy will always be there for you. Okay, Daddy. You did the right thing. Your testimony will help your daughter and prevent this woman from harming other children. I just want my child to have a normal life, to no longer be afraid. Little by little, the light was returning. Doubar was learning to be both father and mother. Sabrina was relearning to smile. They lived for each other, with the memory of Sifa as a star above them. But life hadn't had its last word. Someone unexpected was soon going to enter their story, and everything could still change. Rebuilding their lives. Cristela, however, remained locked up, alone, facing her own demons. One morning, the prison door opened. Cristela stepped out, her gaze lost, her heart heavy with regrets, but not yet transformed. Street, daytime, Cristela walks, free but broken. People look at her with suspicion. She no longer has a home, nor family, nor respect. She stops in front of a window, looks at her own reflection. Cristela murmurs, "My life has become empty." 2 years later, fate brought a man into her life, Johnson, a 35-year-old African, handsome, charming, ambitious, a man who dreamed of having a big family. He meets her in a shop where she works. Johnson, smiling. "You have a very beautiful smile. You should use it more often." Cristela blushes. For the first time, someone looked at her without judging. They got to know each other, then fell in love. 2 years later, they got married. Room, night. After 2 years of marriage, Johnson sits next to Cristela, worried. Johnson, "My love, you know I would like children, several even, but it's been 2 years and nothing." Cristela lowers her head, her eyes full of tears. Cristela, broken voice. I can't get pregnant. I've tried everything, but God gives me nothing." Johnson takes her hand without anger. Johnson, "Maybe it's not a punishment. Maybe it's a message." Cristela looks up, trembling. Johnson, "There are wounds that come back to remind us of what we did." At these words, Cristela starts to cry. The images of Sabrina return, the blows, the screams, the imposed hunger. The little girl is innocent, she finally understands. Cristela in tears. "I hurt a child, and now I can't have one."
It's my fault. My fault. Johnson gently holds her. Johnson, what matters is what you are going to do now. Change or run away again.
Christella takes a deep breath. For the first time, she wants to change, redemption, and light. One day, she made a decision she never thought possible. She went to Doubar's house. He opens the door, surprised, wary. Sabrina, now older, plays in the living room. Christella falls to her knees. Christella crying, "I want nothing, nothing at all. I came to ask for forgiveness. I destroyed a part of your life, and God showed me what it feels like when you miss a child." Doubar remains silent. Sabrina approaches timidly. Sabrina, "Daddy, who is it?" Doubar strokes her head. Doubar calmly, "It is someone who did harm, but who came to say sorry." Christella cries harder. Christella, "I'm sorry, Sabrina." So sorry. The little girl, innocent and pure, places her hand on Christella. Sabrina, softly, "I forgive you." Christella bursts into tears, for it is a child she destroyed and a child who offered her peace. Thus, each went their own way. Doubar raised Sabrina with love and tenderness. Christella, transformed, became a volunteer in a center for abused children. And Johnson, patient, stayed by her side, believing in her redemption. The story ended not in vengeance, but in justice, forgiveness, and rebirth. Advice for women who dislike other women's children. 1. A child never asked to be born. He deserves love, protection, and respect, even if he is not yours. 2. Harming another woman's child brings pain into your own life. Life always gives back what you give, for better or for worse. Or 3. Loving a man also means respecting his child. You cannot love a father and hate his flesh and blood. 4. Jealousy never builds a home. It destroys, it devours, it burns. 5. A mature woman nurtures, protects, and comforts. She does not hit, deprive, or hurt. 6. If you cannot love another woman's child, walk away. Do not destroy a fragile life to satisfy your ego. 7. The heart that welcomes a child gains a blessing. The heart that rejects it closes the doors to its own motherhood.